have to be honest, I wasn't exactly sure how to start today's talk. I'm so used to defining myself by what I do. Co-founder, entrepreneur, meditation teacher, blogger. But if there's anything these past couple years have taught me, it's that it's not these external labels that define who we are. It's how we show up in life that matters. And I'm convinced it's because of meditation and mindfulness that I was able to show up and not only survive, but really thrive during what could be described as a pretty challenging time in my life. About 2.5 years ago, I was desperate for some peace. I was feeling very overwhelmed in my life and just emotionally and physically depleted. On the outside, all was good. I was a master at internalizing my stress and unhappiness. But on the inside, I felt like I was disappointing everyone around me, including myself. And then on a random Thursday, I was checking my email, and a Google ad popped up for a meditation training. I clicked on the ad. My life started to change. Show of hands, how many of you have tried meditation? Quite a few. Excellent. And how many of you would describe yourselves as having a regular practice? Excellent. Well, as those of you who have a regular practice know, the #1 requirement for any meditation or mindfulness practice is to simply begin where you are. So I'm so happy you're all here today. After I attended that meditation training, I learned that meditation is really just a set of tools and techniques to help settle our minds and bodies. I walked away from that experience with a real toolkit to help cultivate a practice that fit my lifestyle. And I started to experience some pretty immediate benefits. I was sleeping better. I felt just calmer in general. I was less reactive and frenetic during stressful moments in my life. And because I started experiencing these benefits, I stuck with it. And I've been meditating every day since. But my real connection to the practice happened about 9 months into it, when I realized the transformational role that meditation and mindful living had been playing in my life. It's almost as if I had been in training for what I was about to experience. On Valentine's Day 2013, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. As I'm sure many in this room can relate, nothing can prepare you for the word cancer. For me, I didn't even hear the words. I simply saw the look on my doctor's face as she was reviewing my ultrasound on the screen. And I asked her point blank, "Is this cancer?" She looked at me with deep empathy in her eyes and said, "I do think this is cancer." Due to the size and nature of the tumor, which was large, they wanted to perform an immediate biopsy. I knew this wasn't the norm. This was serious. My initial feeling was shock, and then it got real. The tears started to well up, and I lost it as I lay there on the table. And then, as I saw that needle about to enter my breast, I did the only thing I knew to do in that moment. I closed my eyes, and I started to breathe in and out, just like in my meditation. After a few moments, I was overwhelmed by the sense of peacefulness throughout my entire being. I welcomed it as surrender and as grace. With so much outside of my control, which was very difficult for my type A personality tendency, all I knew was of that present moment. As my healing journey continued, which consisted of several surgeries and 6 months of chemotherapy, I was very aware of the magnitude of what was happening. But I also experienced this unbelievable focus and deep connection to myself and others, an ability to trust myself and my intuition as I navigated such uncharted territory. People kept making comments to me of how positive I was being. How was I able to stay so positive? And I was always very confused by this because, again, it was very real. I experienced the hardship. And I realized it wasn't about being positive. It was about being present. And it's this present moment awareness that lies at the core and foundation of any meditation or mindfulness practice. So how do we get to this utopia of present moment awareness? It doesn't require a catastrophic event. I believe it starts with daily practice. I'm excited to share some ways we can do just that. To start, I'd like to guide us through a very simple body awareness exercise. I'll be guiding you through it. It's going to take a couple of minutes. And I'm going to invite you to try to let go of expectation and just be kind to yourself. So I'm going to ask everyone to get comfortable in your chairs. If your legs are crossed, uncross them. And your arms can just rest comfortably in your laps. And once you feel settled and comfortable, close your eyes, or you can keep them half closed with the downward gaze. And to start, we're going to take a nice deep inhale through the nose as you feel your belly expand. And then exhale again through the nose as you feel your lungs empty completely. Again, a nice deep inhale through the nose, feel your belly expand. And then exhale, feel the lungs empty completely. Keeping your eyes closed, bring your awareness just back to your natural breath. And as I call your attention to a body part, simply try to relax any tension. Starting with your scalp and forehead. Feel your eyes soften in their sockets. Relax your entire face, even your ears. Relax your mouth, tongue, jaw. Tuck your chin in slightly and feel the back of your neck lengthen just a little bit. Feel your shoulders drop down and away from your ears. Relax your upper back and lower back. Relax your chest, diaphragm, and belly. Relax your hips and pelvis. Relax your right leg from hip to toes. Relax your left leg from hip to toes. Notice any sensations you feel in the body, your heartbeat, your pulse, any tingling. Feel your whole body relaxed. Bring your awareness back to your natural breath pattern. And when you feel ready, slowly begin to flutter your eyes open. I have good news. We've all just meditated simply by focusing and paying attention and shifting your awareness. So whether you think you can't meditate or you're not good at it, you've just accomplished it. A big aha for me when I started my meditation practice is it's not necessarily about the Zen moments of being all calm and serene, although ultimately that will happen. I learned it's okay to have thoughts. It's the nature of the brain to have thoughts. For example, you may be sitting in silence or standing in silence like Vicki recommends, or a body awareness exercise like we just did, and start to think to yourself, what am I going to make for dinner? What do I need to get at the grocery store? Did I send that email? When is this woman going to stop talking? This is all normal. Meditation and mindfulness are the tools to become aware that we're having the thoughts, and then gently, without judgment, come back to the present moment. Come back to the point of focus. And as we do this, we're altering the landscape of our brains with some pretty important benefits. Number one, we're better able to focus and concentrate. We're increasing the gray matter of the hippocampus, which is responsible for learning and memory. This can show up in little ways, like remembering where you put your phone or your keys. It's this idea of a singular focus, which admittedly is in direct conflict with our multitasking society. When we're multitasking, we're paying attention to several things. While in theory this sounds like a good idea, studies actually show that multitasking reduces productivity by up to 40%. There's an old Zen proverb that says, when walking, walk. When eating, Eat. In other words, don't try to knock off several tasks while you're walking or eating. Focus on the task at hand. Number 2 benefit, we're becoming more emotionally fluent. We're increasing the folds of the insula, which is the part of the brain responsible for emotional self-awareness. My teacher and mentor, Sarah McLean, in her book Soul Centered, shares that based on her learnings, our emotions are cues to where our attention lies. For example, if we're feeling fearful or anxious, it's likely our attention is in the future. If we're feeling sadness or grief or depression, it's likely our attention is in the past. Our job is to feel what we're feeling, and then gently, without judgment, come back to the present moment. It's likely more peaceful here. Number 3 benefit, we're becoming less reactive and more responsive. We're decreasing the gray matter in the amygdala, which is responsible for fight or flight, the stress hormones. There's no question, we are living in stressful times. We're having babies, we're raising teenagers, we're getting married, we're getting divorced, we're changing jobs, we're moving homes, and the list goes on. And I wish I had a magic wand that could take the stress out of all of those situations. But what I can tell you is that with meditation and mindful awareness, we're shifting our relationship we have to these experiences to be much more meaningful and much more engaging. So what are some things you can do today to be more present in your life and to take back into your workplace? It starts with you and by being an example for others. If you want to increase your focus, choose mindfulness triggers. Think of something you do every single day and choose to be mindful about it. For example, when you're walking to a meeting or to your car, think of inhaling for 3 steps and then exhaling for 3 steps. When you're driving, use red lights as an opportunity to not grab your phone and instead focus on your breath for the entire cycle of that red light. If we want to become more emotionally fluent, be present with others. How many times are we in conversation with others and we're thinking what we're going to say next, or we're on our computers or our phones? Practice really taking pause, listening to what that person has to say, perhaps even enjoying their company, looking at them in the eye. Kids can be great teachers to helping us master this exercise. The next time we're in the middle of something and they're grabbing or needing something from us, by simply taking pause and paying attention to them, we're automatically in the present moment. Finally, how do we become less reactive and more responsive? By breathing every single day. Choose a designated time of day to focus on your breath. Establish that daily habit. Ideally, you can do it first thing in the morning when you wake up. If you can't find time then, other good opportunities are right before lunch or right before dinner. We call this the happy hour meditation. You can send yourself a calendar invite. If you still can't find time during the day, on your way home, pull off on a side street and sit in your car for 5 minutes. The simple act of breathing in and out through your nose is accessing the parasympathetic nervous system, which automatically calms us and automatically relaxes us. That meditation training I mentioned in the beginning, it was actually with Deepak Chopra, who some of you may know. He's a leading MD in the world of complementary medicine and an amazing teacher and advocate of meditation. And in one of the sessions, someone stood up and said, "I can't stop the thoughts. What am I doing wrong?" And Deepak, in his wise way, said, "You recognize your thoughts of doing, and then you come back to the present moment and you be. You recognize the thoughts of doing, and then you come back to the present moment and you be. In other words, you do. And with this, he let out a glorious giggle. I try to do every day as a way to stay present in my life, and I invite you all to do the same. Thank you.